Hey guys, insight number 3. We're in 2 Nephi 28. And yes, again, just in case you're wondering, I did mention the first one, but I did take a week off. So if you haven't seen me for a little while, there's a reason. But I'm here now. Here now, bringing you come follow me goodness. Okay, so chapter 28 talks about, it says in verse 1, verse 2 that he spoke according as the Spirit hath constrained him. So Nephi probably had a lot more to say, and the Spirit's like, actually, just hold that, because that's enough. I could tell Nephi is very passionate about this. He's very committed to the cause and the what's going to happen, and but you needed to leave something for us to find out. But I would like to know, what else did he want to say? That would have been interesting. But he says there too, wherefore I know that they must surely come to pass. So he's like, I know these things will come to pass. I've seen them. I know them. And I can't imagine what it'd be living like that. I don't know. I think he's a very special man to know these things. And those people that see those things of the future, know what's going to happen, know what the people are going to be like, and, need to write down scripture like Isaiah did, like John did, like Nephi did. And there's probably women prophetesses out there too that did the same thing. They're just not as mentioned for various reasons over church history and world history, as we can imagine, and we know. But I'm sure there were some too that saw things and knew things and then wrote stuff saying that, look, we can't tell you because we've been told not to tell you, and we'll be obedient to that. But here's what you do need to know. So pay attention, right? Like, it's good stuff. Okay, anyway, so 3 through 17-ish, I think. Yeah, 3 through 17-ish. Talks about, for it shall come to pass in that day that the churches which are built up and are not unto the Lord. Now, church here means the world that we live in. So the worshipping that happens around maybe worshipping the Sunday football game, or worshipping perhaps, what have we got in this world? The latest movies. So that's our worship is that, rather than Christ. They're not things of Christ. They're not things of God. They're worshipping, and it's the world that we live in. For most people, I don't really hang around a lot of people that have those habits, because I've decided not to be around that, because I'm trying to be more Christ-like and Christ-focused. So, but there's some interesting things out there that people bring up, and what's so important to them, and I'm baffled by it, because I'm like, it's so hollow and empty. But then that's all they know. And so, I give some grace to that and try and talk to them about deeper things. And sometimes they're interested, and most of the time they're not. But I'm trying. So, but yeah, churches which are built up. So, one shall say to the other, behold, I am the Lord's, and the other shall say, I am the Lord's, and thus shall everyone say it that hath built up churches and not unto the Lord. So also including in that the world that we live in, some of those churches that are just out for money for the leaders, some of the cults that are out there. And no, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not a cult. We have absolute freedom of choice. We don't get hunted down by anybody. There's no you must do this kind of behavior. They're all choices, and we all make those choices individually, and we're all about choice. So yeah, there's churches that aren't, though, and I feel sad for the people in them. But most of the churches that you would deal with in your local communities, especially in New Zealand, most of the churches here are very much good people doing good things, helping other people. So it's not talking about them, all right? So don't be thinking that it's every other church but the LDS church. It's not. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about worshipping things that are not of Christ. Because I know lots of good people that worship, and they are of Christ. They don't worship in our church, and that's fine. Would I like them to? Of course I would, but they're still really good people. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They're great givers back to the community, so they are with Christ. Okay? Really thing on that, because people get something about it. But anyway, so it's a world that we live in. So have a look at these things. Now, they've been mentioned by a couple of come follow me, probably several come follow me people, because these are very much in a world that we live in today. And I'm like, which ones stick out to you? So in verse 3, it's like that I am this, I am that. Well, it's a me situation, isn't it? It's like, I'm right, you're not. no one hearing for anyone else. Verse 4, there's like lots of contention and denial of the Holy Ghost. Verse 5, they regard not God. In fact, they say we don't even need a God. What do we need a God for? Verse 6, they don't believe in miracles. Verse 7, they do whatever they want to. Doesn't matter. We'll choose. Oh, yeah, we'll do whatever we want. Doesn't matter about the consequences. Doesn't matter because, we're going to die anyway. Let's just have fun. There's that. How often do we hear that? There's verse 8, do what suits you again, me, me, me. So if I want to crush someone else to get ahead, then I'm going to do it because that's the law of the jungle. Verse 9, do whatever to get ahead. Same thing. Do whatever it is, like whatever you need to do, whatever, how immoral it is. You go to like all these wonderful factories that just belch out pollution and they don't care as long as they're making a buck. They will pay the cheapest labor. They will treat people bad as long as they're making money. Those are the businesses they're in, and I've been watching some documentaries on Netflix about just broken things, and even just like makeups coming out that have like super glue in them, and I'm like, are they using products that aren't even good for people? And it's just like, oh my gosh, and people are buying them because they want this product, and I'm just like, no, just don't. So these people are doing whatever it takes to get ahead. They will stomp on anyone. They will hurt anyone. They will lie, deceive, cheat, kill, whatever, to get ahead. And it's awful. And some of them are so, like, hiding about it. They just cover it up. It's just ugly. 12 and 13, there's corruption, there's neglect, there's lies, there's lack of loyalty, broken promises, and they fight against good. That goes through 14 through to 16, which is over the page. They rob people because, oh, you've got something nicer than I do and I don't want to work for it, so I'm going to steal yours. Now, how often do we see that right now? So much, all over the place. It's really harsh. So look at that. All those things are what it's like to live in this world. It's what it's been like to live in this world pretty much since Cain killed Abel, right? I want to get ahead. I'm jealous. And it obviously was less eventful and less like that then, but as it progresses, we've seen it gets more and more like that, and people are just getting clever at it now. They're still like that. You just don't know. You've got to look a bit harder. So it's not good. Anyway, that's the world we live in. So you're thinking and all that, we're forgotten. Jesus doesn't care about us. He's letting all these things happen. Remember, no. People choose to make these things happen. Jesus is there with us, helping us navigate them. Because everyone gets choice. It includes those that are evil and going to use it for bad. They get choice too. So 17 to 32 are the warnings and consequences of living in denial of God. So there's no miracles, there's no hope. And this is living as if you are forgotten. But the Book of Mormon is an antidote for this forgotten living, and we'll read about that in chapter 29. But he talks about all those things there. He gives all those things there about living forgotten, and that's how it's going to be. You chose to be forgotten. You chose to forget me. You chose to, take yourself away and partake in these evil ways and decide that you are going to be forgotten. And sometimes people get there and they sort of feel forgotten, and it's not their fault. I'm not talking about those people because they can make choices. Everyone can make choices, but they're more willing to make choices to be remembered and to be part of it. In fact, you go to the poorest of countries and the most ugliest of situations, and you will find some of the most faithful, valiant Christian souls or just souls, even if they don't know of Christ. They live in such a way that is kind and loving, and they work so hard, and you will find that in the ugliest places of the world. And they just oppressed people, and that's sad. And it's the people above them that are living forgotten. So when I say forgotten, I don't mean downtrodden and outcast. No, because we know we're not forgotten of Christ. People that live forgotten are the ones that have forgotten, up here, they have forgotten what it is like to live in a Christ-like way, or forgotten what it's like to be kind to people, to do good things instead of choose ugly things, to, basically their living is Ebenezer Scrooge, and they get a dream and they remember, oh, it's actually better to be nice to people. To be nice to others, to live in a charitable, Christ-like way. So, when I say they're living forgotten, it's not that Christ forgot them. They're living forgotten. They've forgotten Christ. Okay? Cool? Okay. Because that wasn't apparently clear at the beginning, I don't think. But anyway, so there you go. And 24, and I've gone over time again. I'm passionate about this. Anyway, therefore woe be unto him that is at ease in Zion, as in don't get lax around living in this way. You've got to consistently be focused and look and remember and all those things that we talk about. So there you go. Anyway, we're going to head over to 29 and read more about the Book of Mormon.